we are with artist extraordinaire, Russel Lewis.
It is true. It is true. I am extraordinary.
Man, explain what you're working on, right?
I'm working on this commission piece for someone. They actually like the card, they like the piece in it, but they wanted it bigger, and they also wanted it in color. So I'm using a technique called the oil wash technique, where you start off in graphite pencil, you seal it in with some fixative, then you put an oil wash on top, and then you go into it with some detail and color pencil, and then that's about it. Sometimes you can throw some acrylic into it. It's really a mixed medium technique.
And that's a finished product of what an oil wash would look like when it's done. Detailed. Once you finish the drawing, you can go back into it with like anything, right? Like oil,
yeah.
paint.
It's really mixed medium. You can take it anywhere you want to take it. But these steps develop the picture. They bring the picture up. They help build the picture. I mean, you really give people their money's worth, and they don't even know all the steps that you go through to get their work done.
Like how long you been doing this?
Professionally, probably about 15 years. Some shortcut ways I can do this. I can actually probably just paint it and call it a day, but it just won't give it that sharpness. There's something that'll be missing when you go right at it. It doesn't have the built up consistency that you'd like to see in this sort of technique.
Some people ask, like, how do you know where to put this color in it, or this shade, or that tone value? Like, how do you go about
You know what's funny about that? I think that's a learned experiment, experimental. You just, after doing it a while, you kind of feel it out, because your first maybe 20 to 50 of them they're not even going to feel right. But after a while, it becomes part of you. I think it's like doing anything over and over and over. It becomes, you just know it.
So when would you say you're at your creative best?
When I was coming up, when I transferred from illustrator to sculptor, starting this paper mache stuff, that's when, to me, it was a big jump. Mm-hmm. I had totally jumped back into something that I've always dreamed about doing, and I ended up doing it. I found a way to do it, found something that didn't cost a whole lot of money to do, and I could do whatever I wanted. I could make any shape, anything that I wanted. And I think that was 1998. That was beautiful for me.
That was the pivotal point.
Pivotal, yeah. I'm an artist in every sense of the word. Musically, artistically, dance, theater. I love it, appreciate it all. And I see it as all the same thing. Face, but also that red, man. There's something about that red. It fucking commands your attention. When something is red, you gotta look at it. Any warm color for
They hold that joint up, man. See,
I ain't got the name of it, man.
This shit is.
She's from Nigeria, though. Nigerian woman. That may be the name.
Nigerian woman.
Yeah. And something as simple as crayon. Did shit in crayon. You take this shit, something from like crayon, and then go to something like.
Man, hold up. What a paper bag picture.
Oh, I sold that. Then you go to something like this, with the paper mache and all the stone paint that I use, and then all the acrylic on top of that. From something like that. Truthfully, man, no different in my mind, but the way people see it is big difference.
Man, go into how your styles have
changed.
Have changed.
Well,
mask. Looking at the mask pieces.
Okay, something in particular happened to me. I've always loved sculpture. Every since I had the means to do it, I said, I can't afford a studio. I can't afford the plaster and all the mess that it takes. But then in 1997, somebody introduced me to paper mache, the pulp, how you make it, how you can form it, how hard it gets once you're finished. I said, damn, I done found it. So then I came up with these faces that I did. I also made a mold of them so I can make more of them. But every now and then I still make custom faces. And then I had another buddy of mine, Joe Gleaton. He's an artist, and he deals with a whole lot of fabric and things like that. So he put a couple of these faces in the fabric. So I joined up with a whole lot of artists.
So was this piece What's the name of this piece?
Untitled, unnamed. I got a lot of pieces never named.
Joe put it together.
Yeah. He put it together with my face.
And
Grabbed
you just
my
dropped the faces in.
Yep, dropped the faces in. He already put it together, put the faces in, and then that was that. Yep, same thing with the small piece up there in the corner. Then there's another smaller one in the frame. Then you come to my circle piece up here.
And I was the proud purchaser of one of these.
Yeah. 3 faces. It's hard to see because I took the zebra stripes. Yeah, zebra stripes over top of them. Just a lot of experimental stuff, and that's what a lot of this is. You ever want to make a name for yourself, I believe it needs to be something experimental in order to take it to the next level. I mean,
this is like paper mache. It's
paper mache on like canvas. It
looks
canvas
like a rock.
here.
It has a rock feel.
Yeah, and that came from the stone paint. But it also came from a lot of masking too. So this was almost like a design illustration. It was mixed media plus sculpture. This thing got 3 things mixed in it. It's got a lot of design in it because you can see all the forms. And then it's got sculpture because of the faces, and those were hand done. And then you got, the illustration because of the paint that you use in order to do the labyrinth. And the same thing with this one. It's a paper mache piece. Can't remember how many faces I got on there. But the same thing went with that. A lot of, and then this is experimental piece too. A lot of experimental work. You got it. If you don't experiment, what are you doing? You're not discovering anything. You're not finding anything.
There we go.
Same thing with those. This is the same thing with me and Joe Gleaton. Yeah. Sometimes you do shit that you know you're never gonna do again. This will be one of them. Never do it again. Just go.
And what inspired this picture though?
And that's just that, and this is the reason why you'll never do it again, because nothing in particular inspired it. You had one thing that built on top of another thing. It sat around a month, then another thing on top of that. There's probably about 3 or 4 paintings up under this one. Then once I put the mache on there for the face, then after that you went on there and said, I need to put some color. You put some color on it. Okay, no, it ain't the right color. Then you change the color. Then after that, I work on the labyrinth. Put that all on top, just different images that I like. Okay, it's over. But I'm gonna tell you, the shit sit around another year or 2, it might change again. Little girl, man, her name is Promise.
The little Chiquita hiding.
Promise. And what's funny is, I've been looking at this. This is getting ready to change too. Her name is Promise. A little girl caught up in the concrete jungle.
Speaking out from like the
concrete jungle with scratches in it. We went to L.A. and while it was shipped to L.A., some glass broke and it got all fucked up.
Oh, glass got on this one?
Yeah, you can see it. I don't know if the camera picked it up. Yeah. Anyway,
scratched her face.
Yeah, scratched her face too.
So the Holly, man.
She gonna need some repair work. But I had a good time doing her, and I actually did her before she won her Oscar. I did her before that, So I've always been a big fan of her. I thought she got some good advice from an artist of mine, Derek Vaughn. This is getting ready to get cut up, but you'll probably see that later on. I'm gonna probably chop about 1 inch above her eyebrow, and then I'm gonna reframe it, mat and frame it, hook it all up.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, but that's what needs to be gone. Hey, and don't be scared to tear your shit to pieces, because if you're an artist, you can do it again. That's if you really, really want to. So I'm not afraid to tear this picture apart. So hang around other artists. You have to. That's the only way you're gonna expose yourself to more things. You have to. It's a must.
And that joint. Mm-hmm. So what piece is this?
This piece, it's untitled, it's unfinished also. It's almost got this dreamy, I guess, sort of religious
that's you, isn't it?
thing. Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
And that's my last son, Parrish, that I had, and we put it together. I was just working on it. So it's one of those pieces that I'm always be working on. I worked on it, I started it probably about 2 or 3 years ago. Never finished. Every now and then you tag it. I need to work on the wings, but I really like the piece. I like what it's doing.
It's tight.
Yeah, they need a little bit more work though. They need to look more realistic, since I got everything around it looking realistic. Yep. I like this piece too. This piece, experimental piece. I'm gonna tell you, half the shit in this house is experimental. All I did was play with complementary colors. I used the cool colors to go into the dark parts. I used the warm colors to stay into the light parts. That's all I did, over and over.
That shit is strong.
I started with the yellow and purple. The yellow being the hot and the same concept. And then I went into the orange and the blue. And this is what I ended up with. So it's just experimental. It may not go anywhere, but you learn stuff from this shit. You know, I got a lot of experimental pieces you just learn from. That's what it's about. It's about feeling good, being happy about what you're doing. You know, and it'd be nice to get paid for the shit.
So what started you in art?
It's in my blood. It's in my family, my grandmother, my father, and then myself. So it's just in the blood. Duke Ellington School of Performing Arts. That was my first exposure to actually seeing other artists like myself being so young, which was good. Then I went to Virginia Commonwealth University. Same sort of thing, but they showed you more technical things that helped you make your work more your work.
Mm-hmm. Who are your inspirations in art? Like, or what artists influence you, or all of the above?
Interesting enough.
Like teachers, or like when you were in school.
In different stages of my life, different people inspired me. But nowadays, it's almost like life inspires me. You go out somewhere, you see some things, all of a sudden it'll click. Mm-hmm. And that's what you got to do immediately. You may see something. You may see a landscape. Like you may see people doing whatever. You may see kids playing. Different things may inspire you. You might watch a movie and go, whoa. I mean, I just watched a movie today. I saw something in the background I couldn't even identify. But from what I made of it, in my mind, I turned it into a sculpture. And I'm going to be working on that shit next week. But that's what I saw. So just different things. You got to have an artist's eye. When you have an artist's eye, it's all around you. And from the masters, I used to like Degas. He
explain what like illustration is. Some people might not know illustration.
Now, illustrations are well, let me explain to you like this. If you look at a book cover, sometimes it'll have a picture on it, and it suggests what the book is about. That's illustration. It's art and communication. And when you see the art, it communicates what's going on either behind it. Same as a movie poster. You look at it, and hopefully the people or whatever is on that poster will illustrate what the movie's about, or books are illustrated.
Because some people might say, what's the difference between illustration and art? And yeah, or drawing,
and being an
sketches,
artist.
Yeah.
Really, not much. I think it depends on how you use it. That's all. But then you may find some people that are artists, that are abstract, that'll take some paint, smudge it on a canvas, and then piss on it and call it art. But then you'll have something that tells a story, that suggests something, that's used in communicating an idea. Those are usually illustrations. That's the difference between, and it's a fine line. There's some designers that have illustrating qualities, who design things. A lot of architects who build buildings. Buildings sometimes suggest a certain thing. When you see it, if you see a castle, for instance, you see, you feel royalty. There's something about it.
What do you do when you're doing your art, or what music you listen to help your creative juices?
It depends on what I'm doing. Most of the time, something real smooth and nice. I like Sade. I like jazz. I like some R&B. Rap is good too. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on what you're doing. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, if the music can reflect the piece that you're working on, I think that's the best way to go about it. A lot of times, when we were training in school, we listened to classical music, and when we were doing our figure drawings, and it worked for that. I mean, it calmed you. It just put you in a state of mind. Subconsciously, you would be working on a picture, but consciously, you're listening to the music. So that's what made that nice.